my daughter can't read and I'm not scared. Can you believe that? Today we are in the Mom-mobile. Why? Well, because Sarah is at her vision testing. So I thought I would take you to the car, where we know every mom actually lives. So let's really dive into why I'm not scared shitless that my daughter is 10 and can barely read and write. Are you in the same boat as me? If so, hop on in and let's go on this journey together. So let me take off my little kitty cat mask. Or maybe I'm a fox, because, what does the fox say? Oh, come on, you saying it. Ding, 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 ding. It's kind of cute, though. All right. On a serious note, welcome to my car. Sarah is upstairs getting her eyes tested. And the reason that I'm actually not scared completely crapless that Sarah really can't read or write yet is because together Rich and I have 4 kids. Okay? All 4 kids have different learning disabilities. So we knew that Sarah was going to have some. It's not a big deal. I have learning disabilities. Rich has learning disabilities. My mother has learning disabilities. His 2 children have LD. Elizabeth has LD. It was really just, which one is Sarah going to have? We didn't know. It was like waiting for it to come to the surface, right? So what we've been doing was waiting. Now, when she was 8, Sarah said, Mom, I'm ready to learn how to read now. And we said, great. Let's go get you tested so that we know which LD you have. Now, a lot of people either want the school system to test their child, which, by the way, they're not going to do. It is not in the school system's best interest to test your child. Why? Because then they have to be responsible, and then they have to find funding. And do you really want someone to test your child's brain who has no interest, my phone's falling over, who has no interest in really doing what's best for your child? They have a best interest of what's doing best for their bottom line. So please do not rely on the school to test your child. You can, but you're going to get some crappy testing, number 1. And number 2, they don't have your child's best interest in mind. So go find yourself a neurological, psychological place that does testing for learning disabilities. Not only, hey, good morning, Becky. Welcome to my mom car. Look, whoop. Sitting in the minivan. Whoop, whoop. Love the thing. Love any car whose doors open with the touch of a button. I mean, how awesome is that? Anyway, so let's get back to some good testing stuff. I know Becky here is totally on board with me because if the school system does the testing, they have their best interest in mind. Their best interest is saving their money and not helping your child. Let's be honest. The tack isn't on their chair. It's on your chair, and it's up your butt, and it's up your child's. So go find someone who has their best interest in mind. When we did it for Elizabeth in Boston, it was Boston Neurological. When we did it for Sarah here in Charlotte, we went to Family and Child Development. Didn't really like them, but they did the job. That's what we needed. Good morning, Charles. Oh, we had Children's Clinic test our daughter. She was diagnosed with dyslexia and dysgraphia. Oh, well, that's what Sarah has. But Sarah also has, oh, I love this. Oops, sorry. You're going to laugh. If I could show you how my phone's being held right now, you would totally laugh. You know those hair clippy things? They go up like this. They're like the advanced version of the banana clip. That's what's holding my phone right now. I left my Christmas present that held it to the little vents in my mother's car. Anyway, so Sarah, who's upstairs getting her vision tested right now, so I'm going to hold this so you guys don't keep falling over, right? So Sarah has dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, ADHD, severe anxiety, social anxiety, general anxiety. She also has, what I didn't realize, through all of this testing, I went to the back of the test, right, and I looked up what it was that we had to do. So for years we went through, she got this done at 8. I lived in Southeast Psych for impartial detailed testing. Awesome. That's great to know, Becky. Thank you. So we got her this tutor who specialized in Orton Gillingham and Linda Mood Bell, and she was great. Leslie Knowles was fabulous. She gave Sarah the ability, all of the skills to know how to decode, because I didn't know how to teach that. We've got 3 other kids, 2 of which have dyslexia. The others, they have a whole smattering, but Sarah got hit with everything. And so her anxiety was getting really, really bad to the point where she actually couldn't function. And in November, she was 10 years old, unable to read, unable to write. She has all the skill sets, and yet she can't function past kindergarten level. What's up with that? Like, hello? So we went to go see my oldest daughter's psychiatrist because Sarah's anxiety was so high. Well, as I was faxing over her detailed information, which I'll be honest, I didn't read the whole thing the whole time. It was pretty upsetting. I came across this one line that she has 1% visual comprehension. Holy crap! No one said jack diddly squat that my kid can't see. And this is where I learned there's a difference between sight and vision. I never knew. Sight is you can see things. Vision is you can decode things. So there's nothing wrong with her ability to learn. Right? If you test Sarah, because in the state of North Carolina you have to do standardized tests when you homeschool, so that's what we did. She tests out, she's supposed to be in 5th grade, she tests out in the middle of 6th grade as long as it's auditory. The moment she has to read it, she tests back in kindergarten. Holy crap! So she's not stupid, but it's just like she has these Jersey barriers up between her eyes and her brain and her hand. So this morning, she is at a neurological optometrist who's helping, I think that's what he's called, anyway, who is helping determine where those, I'm going to call them Jersey barriers, so that's not his wording, that's mine, where they are so that we know how to best help her. And this is why I'm not freaking out. We had a child with vision issues that needed 12 months vision therapy, 2 hours a week, and special glasses. Yes, Becky, Sarah is actually waiting for her second pair of prism glasses. The first pair, the last doctor put the prisms in the wrong direction. So I want to give you an example of what it's like for Sarah to try to read. So if your child's not reading yet, and they should be old enough to be able to decode, I highly, highly recommend you get them tested. And if even that testing doesn't come out like correctly, or you're trying to do everything you can, hold on, I have to find my thing here. Where is it? Oh, it's in my lap. Look at that. Definitely take them to see, what are they called? Let me find the right exact wording. It's an optometrist, but it is a neurological optometrist. So this is how, or a behavioral optometrist, this is how Sarah reads. All right, first of all, she cannot track correctly. She can only see the last 2 words on the right side. What specialist are you using for vision testing? Are you in the Charlotte area, Charles? Because if so, I can, when we're done, I'll send you the information. This is, so you see this little print here? A, she can't see print that small. But when she does, this is what it looks like when she's reading. Now, can you read that? I can't. Mount Airy, okay, I'm going to give you a resource after we log off and I get home to find some behavioral optometrists. What I actually did was I called the North Carolina Association for the Blind. And that's where I got the recommendations from. Because there are only some behavioral optometrists that deal with this. So Sarah actually qualifies for the Library for the Blind, and it's so funny because she gets so pissed off when they send her books because they're baby books. But those are the only books that are in like 24-point type. So if your child is suffering, that's what your daughter sees too. Yeah, isn't it so frustrating? It's like, I want to be able to help her, but I feel so helpless. And so we've basically been teaching her like she's blind all these years. Now, I sort of felt like crap when I would make her, like, honey, we have to sit down and read. We have to do this. It's all part of it. And she really, really did try, but it was so exhausting and so hard for her. So we've actually stopped since November. She listens to stories. She tries to track on her own, but she knows she's really not that great at it. And I'm totally cool with that. And we watch a lot of videos. We do a lot of talking. Excuse me. But we really try to teach her like she's blind. And because we use a homeschool methodology, whose name I really hate, the common known name is unschooling, which I think is totally stupid. It got its name, believe it or not, from the 7-Up commercial where I went, ha ha ha, the Uncola, 7-Up, the Uncola. If you want to get really, really into depth, it's autodidactic learning or self-led learning or child-led learning or Edison learning or Jefferson learning. There's all these different names. But basically what we do is we sit down every week. We are unschoolers. Yay, high five to the unschoolers. I think unschooling gets a bad rap because so many people use it as an excuse for unparenting. And it's like, unless you've actually sat down and like read the books by John Holt or John Taylor Gatto, or you listen to Pat Ferenga, I know so many parents like, oh, we're just unschooling, but they do nothing. Like, I do more work as an unschooler than I ever did, like when Elizabeth was just taking a class and when she was using Easy Peasy, so that all-in-one homeschool thing. All I do is like type in, say, here, this is what you do today, and she'd go do it. I had no involvement. I did nothing. But as an unschooler, holy crap, I'm like constantly, oh, we're going to the park. Okay, let's look up some physics stuff so that we can learn that. Or, it's all real hands-on stuff. And so as unschoolers, what we've done is we've said, hey, Sarah, what do you want to learn? Every month we make up goals. Now, they don't stay the same, but we're like, here, what's your goal for the month? So her goal for January was to be able to learn how to use the sewing machine more proficiently. Great. So how are you going to do that? Oh, I love John Holt and Ben Hewitt. Yes, helped our family through this journey. Yes. Just assuming that you know it all. No. It's a constant learning thing. Hello, let's talk life-led learning, right? Lifelong learning. That's what unschooling really is. And so for Sarah this last month, it was all about sewing. She learned how to thread the sewing machine. She learned how to make patterns. She learned how to create outfits for herself. She actually has she makes shirts and stuff for her sister out of leggings. Like, who would have thought you could actually cut the crotch of a legging out and put it on as a shirt? Not me. This kid figured it out, and now her 19-year-old sister is modeling shirts that she's made out of leggings, and people are asking for an Instagram channel so that Sarah can show her shirts. I didn't know that. She now has this brilliant idea to take a t-shirt and turn the short sleeves inside out, sew them up so they're like pockets, cut it down the front, and make shorts out of a t-shirt, and using the neck as the waist. Why not? She has sight. She doesn't have vision. Awesome, our daughter took sewing too. Oh, Sarah loves to sew, and she's really big into doll clothes. Charles, how old is your daughter? Actually, am I talking to Charles or am I talking to Allison? So I want to make sure I'm talking to the right person. But Sarah has this passion for fashion. But the thing is, what's happening with her disability? Oh, she's 12. Sarah's going to be 11 in April. Sorry, 4 kids have to get the right birthdays. And she's more mature for her age because all of her siblings are 19, 20, and 21. So, hey, Allison, how are you? So, she's always looking for people who get it. And what we're finding is that people judge because she can't read and she can't write. And for her, that's heartbreaking because she wants to. And so we're sitting here every day, she's crying, people don't get this. And I'm like, honey, you're going to get there. You have to find people who love what you love. And then they're not going to care. And I think that's the whole thing, why we're not totally freaking out that she can't read or write yet, because the truth of the matter is she still loves learning. Allison says our daughter is too. Most people think she's a high school. Yeah. I mean, Sarah she's little. She's petite like I am, and she's 10 and a half. If you're in Mount Airy, we're like half an hour, 45 minutes apart, because we're in the university section of Charlotte. Maybe we could get together and the girls could sew or something. That'd be awesome. But really not having that fear, not moving out of fear, but out of love, and really making sure that I partner with Sarah in how she's raised is super important. And you're going to hear on like all my videos, you need a partnership in parenting. It is so important to partner with the person you're really parenting. Because if you're partnering with your spouse or your significant other, that's great, but you're not raising them. Well, maybe you are. Or as Becky would say, maybe the brain fairy is going to come and take that away, right, Becky? Because the brain fairy is awesome. And I'm sorry, Allison, the brain fairy is soon going to come for your daughter. She's 12. It happens. You can ask Becky all about it. But being able to not be frightened and to move from a space of love rather than fear makes a huge difference. Allison says, that would be awesome. We haven't found many friends here yet. Moved here from Florida 9 months ago. Oh, love Florida. Where in Florida? My oldest was born in Jacksonville, and I lived in Palm Coast and Ponte Vedra. So I'm a Florida girl at heart. I'm sorry. This to me is cold. Even though I grew up and lived in Connecticut and Massachusetts for 30 years, I really am a hot weather girl. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm psyched when it gets to be like 90 degrees. Jacksonville, no shit. No way. Wearing Jacks. See, look, we get completely off tangent here. I'm so sorry, people. When I first moved there, I lived off of Kernan. Anyway, so, no, yes, all right. Speaking of Florida, I don't know if Un in the Sun is going to happen this year, but make sure you guys check out some of the unschooling stuff that's going on near Mayport. Oh, is that little seafood place still there? That is done in nothing but, I want to call it like plywood. Best fish ever. That's near the beach. Yes. Wait, are we all Jack's people? I don't know. Anyway, I loved it. My ex-husband lives there, and that's why I don't live there. The man's name is OJ, and he lives up to the notoriety of that name. And the difference between Nicole and I is I am not stupid enough to just live around the corner from my abusive husband. I hauled ass out of there. That's a story for a whole other day. Let's just say I have been through hell and back again, know it, live it, and happy to not be there. But back to living with visual disorders and learning disabilities. It is really tough. And it's one of those things that as a parent, there are times when born and raised are my exes from there too. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we'll just leave exes in Florida. I do miss Disney though, on a regular basis. But being able to move from that place of love rather than fear sometimes is really hard. I have to admit it. There are times that I still freak out, and I've been unschooling for like 9 years. All right, I've graduated one. She graduated with a 3.89. She's starting her own business. I know this works, but there are still times that I freak out. Because I'm like, well, am I failing? Oh my God, I just go to Disney every 6 weeks. I used to go every weekend, and I'd like take $10, and I would get a turkey leg and watch the people. But, you know, really there are times I do get scared. I'll be honest, because then I start comparing where I think Sarah should be to where she is. And once we start comparing rather than evaluating, that's, I think, when we get into trouble. Because the truth of the matter is a child's going to learn when they're ready, when their brain is ready. And, you know, I constantly say this to parents all the time, that Elizabeth went 3 years without doing any kind of education, right? When we took her out at age 12, we did more than unschool. We like radically unschooled. And it was funny because she has a stepbrother who's the exact same age in the exact same grade. And he was pissed. And he lived with his mom. He's like, what do you mean she doesn't take exams? What do you mean she doesn't take tests? Blah, 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 blah. He'd get totally pissed off. And this is a kid now who is 20 and completely lost in his life. And she's going to be 20 and she knows her ass from her elbow. Go figure. But anyway, so for 3 years we did nothing. Like, we did field trips and we didn't sit around and watch TV all the time, but we weren't like learning. And she came to me at 15 and she's like, hey Mom, I want to do something else. I think I'm ready to do math. She did 6 years of math in 90 days. Do you know how much teaching textbooks is? It's like $200 a program. 6 years of it in 90 days. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. But man, she got it because she was ready. And waiting until they're ready is the key. Okay, Allison says, it's so nice to know someone who has a child around our daughter's age that has anxiety. Yes, ADHD. Yes, dyslexia and dysgraphia. Yes, Asperger's. Oh my God, we have SBD too. It's such a lonely journey to be one with no one to bounce shit off of, especially in unschool. Oh girl, bounce it, honey, bounce it. Take that ball. Let's go back and forth. Learn math fast. 250K. Okay, K through 12 math. Cool. Well, I have to be ready I have to wait till they're ready. Because otherwise the brain just can't, they just can't get it. And so, like, Sarah right now is so desperate to learn how to read and how to write properly. And those are her words, not mine. Like, I'm totally cool if she has crappy handwriting, all right? But she wants to be able to do it because she feels less than. She has this motivation to do better, to feel better. And that's why we're here today. Not because I want her eyes to work. Because you know what? It's not going to do a damn bit of good if it's me pushing her. She has to have that intrinsic motivation to want to do this. And that's what she has. So she's up there right now getting tested in a pair of leggings that she made into a shirt with her little half belly showing. It's really cute. And a jacket over it because she's chilly. But she's up there because this is what she wants. And so when you partner in parenting with your child, you have to wait till they're ready. And then you both be able to move forward at a time and in a way that's best for them. And really that's the key. Like the other night she was sobbing her eyes out. So if you listened, I think it was yesterday's video. My goal is to do a video every day. So I'm probably going to mess up which days they are. They all sort of go together and I wasn't feeling well yesterday. But we'd spent the night before with her crying because she felt so alone and so afraid to trust. But because I am her partner, I'm not her authoritative parent. She's able to trust that I'm just going to hold her. Now, I have to be honest, it was really hard. I wanted to come up with solutions. Like, I am the solution finder person. If you need a solution, come find Mary. She's going to find it for you. And just listening is really hard for me. So that stretches me as a person, as a parent. And so as I was listening to how she was really struggling with not being where she wants to be, I had to remember to keep my mouth shut. Because we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? Sometimes I think I've been given 2 mouths and like half of an ear. because I too have ADHD. If you haven't noticed, I thought I'd just tell you. But it was really, really great because she was able to find her own solutions. She was the one who was able to say, okay, I need to learn how to trust. I need to learn to make friends again. I need to not be so frightened. But she had to sort it all out. So I'm going to circle all the way back to why I'm not scared that she can't read and she can't write fluently at age 10. Because I trust that her brain, when it's ready, is going to push her forward to be able to do it. And it will. But trusting that is hard as shit. I'm going to be honest with you. Because there are all these things that I want to do with her that I don't get to do because she can't do it. Or all these classes she wants to take. She loves science. I suck at science. I suck. All right? But she loves it. But we can't even go to Discovery Place to take the classes because she can't read it. And who, honestly, at 10 and a half, wants to have a scribe, right? Or a reader? Hello, this is the age of cats, right? All the girls, meow, they're going to come after you. They're absolutely bitches. So she doesn't want to do that. And so now she's feeling trapped. Her exact words to me were, Mom, all the nice girls are probably in their bunk beds crying too. So I'm going to guess, Allison, your daughter might be in a similar position. So say, our daughter Peyton is the same. She struggles with trusting, but unschooling has given her the freedom to learn at her pace and what she loves. For a child who struggles to read, just did a drama workshop and acted in the play. Woo! She read the damn script and memorized it in 2 days. Awesome! Total high five. So we're hoping that with this vision therapy for Sarah, that it's going to remove those Jersey barriers, because she's smart as hell. She just has to be able to figure out how to get there. So what I was reading today, I'm going to read it to you. Where's my little flyer here? It's not in my lap. Sorry for this, guys. I seem to be misplacing my brain all the time. Not enough coffee and cold medicine. All right, so I thought this was pretty cool. So I just picked this up from the optometrist. Here it says backwards optometric vision therapy, right? So you see that backwards? It says science indicates that we do not, quote, see with our eyes or our brain. Rather, vision is the reception and processing of visual information by the total person. Well, what I think is really interesting about that is that when we speak, only 7% of it is actually what we say. So you could be listening to this, right? And close your eyes and you're only going to get part of it. But 97% of what I'm saying is tone and facial expression and body language. Yeah, 97%. So if you close your eyes and you listen to this, you're not going to get all the, all the little subtle things. Actually, if we just texted all of it, you wouldn't get it either. I don't know about you, but I definitely watch videos with subtitles and don't turn the sound on. And I bet you there are lots of people doing that too and watching me move my hands. And yes, if I sit on them, I'm mute. Sorry, that's just what it is. But to go back to therapy, I know we're going all over the place today. It's basically being able to trust that your child has an issue. Get them tested, for Pete's sake. I don't know why people are so afraid of labels. Holy crap, a label can give you what you need. Do people not understand this? Sarah was labeled with a visual disorder, so now we have access to programs that we otherwise would not have had. A label can bring you freedom. It doesn't have to bring you into a smaller world. And that's the part that I think especially unschoolers don't get. So many unschoolers are against a label. Dude, man, wake up. The world, that's how you make your money. Becky, you want to share some with me? I love money. It's a great thing. Let's bathe in it. But the world has labels. The world operates in labels. What is your label? My label is mom. What is yours? I'm going to guess it's mom, right? That's a label. What is unschooling? A label. It's how we identify. It's how we are able to understand in our brains where things go, how we classify things, how we understand them. And so this brings me all the way back to why are we not testing our children? If your child cannot read, I can tell a lot from just sounds. Thank you. If your child cannot read, if your child cannot write, stop asking groups, should I be concerned? My 10-year-old can't read or write. Yes, you should be concerned. You should also be concerned if your baby doesn't go through and crawl, or if they skip a step in their development, because that means that their brain is not developing properly. Stop asking other people, trust your gut, and find the right resources. Stop being so afraid. Move from love instead of fear. That's really the basis of all of this. You know, when you go through those Facebook groups and you listen to people, they're really saying, I'm frightened. I'm frightened. I'm frightened. Okay, let's see. What does Alice say? She says, she's opened so many doors having her tested. Yes, it has helped us see and help her. Dyslexia doesn't come down to reading issues, no, or writing issues. Dyslexic struggle with organization, hoarding, and anxiety. Oh my God, let's not even discuss the amount of clothes that my husband and my daughter have. I could probably clothe an entire African village. Why? I don't know. Why does my husband need 50 blue shirts? He has one body. Not have like 7. There's 7 days in a week. Okay, and Becky says, I do call centers and can read special ed directors. That's awesome. Because, Becky, you are out there with your feet on the ground doing the right thing. I actually did an entire, I'm going to call it an intellectual talk for the C homeschoolers, which is on my website, which goes into all about dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, ADHD, and what actually is happening in the brain. And because I have those things too, I can't sit here and recite it to you. That is my thing that I struggle with. I struggle with retention retrieval. It's there, but I don't know where. It's like in my brain, someone turned on a strobe light, or, let's do a disco brain. I have a disco light brain, and it goes, and all the information's in there, but not even in a filing cabinet. It's like someone took the filing cabinet, kicked it over, threw it on the floor, turned on the disco ball light, and now so go get the information. Yeah, that's what it's like. So Becky says, labels help us receive proper services and answers, plus my label helps me succeed. Exactly. When you know what your needs are and you have that proper label, you can then say, this is what I need. I need A, B, and C. And here is the law that says I get A, B, and C. It's really not that bad, people. Suck it up, Buttercup. Go get yourself a label so you can move forward. Not having a label holds you back. So since everyone on here has a label, what label do you like the best? What label has given you the most freedom? Because my label, with my learning disabilities, I didn't get tested until I was in my 20s. I was able to get access to programs that I otherwise could not have gotten, like longer test times. I knew what to look for with my children. I am not upset by ADHD. Sweetheart, you want to learn something on the computer while bouncing on a yoga ball? You go for it. You want to read upside down while leaning over the back of a bench? Go for it. I really don't care. Because by enabling our children to do what they do best, which is learn in the way that they need to learn, then they're going to have the success that they need later in life. Why people are looking at them at 10, 11 years old, and even younger, going, oh, well, I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of their life. Well, are you buying their wedding gown? Like, chill out. You don't need to worry about their adult life yet. Worry about now. Okay, Allison says, I have PTSD. Oh, so knowing this label helps me get the services I need. Yes. Same goes for our children. My oldest and I have PTSD from abuse from my ex-husband. You know how there are like 7 different types of abuse? Well, he hit bingo with 2 exclamation points. Exclamation points. People, I'm going to go off on a tangent here and not talk about Sarah and Vision. I'm going to talk about me for a sec. And I'm going to share some personal stuff with you. Since it's just us and we're hanging here, right? So my ex-husband, his favorite thing to do was like really do some really nasty things. Beat me, rape me, all that fun stuff. And people look at a middle-aged white woman who lives in the upper middle class and say, oh no, that could never happen to her. Well, yeah, it really can. It really can. But every day we can choose to be a victor or a victim. Every day. And every day it's gotten better. I mean, I've been gone now 18 years this August. And I never looked back and said, oh wow, I wish I'd stayed. I'm a 51-year-old drug addict. Ooh, in my arms after being her caregiver for over a year. Oh God, that's heartbreaking. I am so sorry. PTSD is really weird. It comes and gets you, I think, at the weirdest times, at a scent, at a memory, you listen to music, a movie, sometimes just driving down the road. I remember when the first decade after I'd left my ex, I swear, like, I'd talk to him sitting in the seat next to me. No one was in the car. But, like, I'd totally bitch him out, and then I'd be all upset. Well, and my oldest, Elizabeth, was molested by him while I slept at night, and then during a visit, which is how all their visits stop. She hasn't seen him in 17 years. Thank God. But remember not knowing how to deal with them. And it wasn't until she was 16 that a therapist finally taught me how to walk her through and out a PTSD episode. Like years of therapy from the time she was 3 to the time she was 16. No one had bothered to teach me that. Yeah. So that would have changed our lives 16 years beforehand. But I think, there's a lot that happens and a lot that goes on when you suffer from PTSD that also really affects your relationships and affects you as a parent. Yes, the thought of testing. Yes. I mean, oh my God, we were watching Hidden Figures last night, right? And they showed some algebraic formula, right? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I'm totally fine looking at the math on the board because I don't comprehend any of it. But the moment they opened like that algebra book, like my brain went tilt, and I couldn't think a thing. And I looked at Elizabeth and she looked at me. We're like, oh my God, no, not math. We're like, what is that? Mental anguish. I don't remember what the T was for. Thinking humans or something. It was just really funny because we both have this with the dyscalculia. But it's tough. And knowing, if I'm going to wrap this back into, vision and all that stuff, knowing what your PTSD is, especially if you were traumatized with the school system and not passing that on to your child is really, really important. And it can be really hard to know what to say, what not to say, how to be their friend, how to partner with them, to know when to get testing, to know what to do with that testing, because school teaches you none of that. It just teaches you authority from the top down. Do as I say, not as I do, sit down, shut up, be quiet. Socialization, we will go into that on a completely other day because there's no socialization in school, so don't talk to me. Hey, Gabriella, don't talk to me about socialization for homeschooling because there's no socialization in school. Good morning, sweetheart. Are you feeling better? I hope so. I'm doing better this morning, which is great. So I have some of my favorite people on here. That's so awesome. So did you guys know that I've actually taken all of these videos and I've uploaded them to YouTube? And I have named the channel Inside Parenting. So it's sort of like I was going to call it Naked Parenting, but that sounds really porny. So I didn't do that. I said Inside Parenting. And basically it's all the background stuff, what it's like to actually live with a child who has anxiety and depression. Sarah, up until this point, has not given me permission to talk about her struggles. And so she got all upset the other night. You only ever talk about Lizzie, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, my children, it's private. Hey, Sarah. It's private. So until Sarah gave me permission to talk about her struggles, I wasn't going to do it. That to me was off the board. So as we're driving over here today, I'm like, Sarah, what do you want me to talk about? Is there anything that's off limits? She's like, no. So we are here today talking about Sarah and Sarah's vision issues and Sarah's learning disabilities and Sarah's anxiety and Sarah's SPD. So please feel free to ask away because Lord knows that child cannot wear socks with seams or underwear with seams. Have you ever had to try to find underwear without seams? It's crazy. So, it's nuts. But anyway, so the whole point of today, I know we've gotten off of tangents, couldn't help it. There were people from Jacksonville here and it was awesome. But the whole point of today is to be able to say, look, if your child is having trouble reading, if your child is having trouble writing, get them tested, listen to them, and then work with them. Learning doesn't have to always be visual, people. So much is done auditorily. We watch movies, we play games, we played the game of life yesterday. Her math was atrocious. It was time to do that again. But really being able to work with them and partner with them and listen to them is so much more important than what worksheet they're doing or what grade level they're on. Because when the brain is ready, the brain's going to be ready to catch up. They can move so much more quickly. But you have to remove what I'm going to call the Jersey barriers in there. So whether they have PTSD because they have been in school before, I know we worked against that with Elizabeth for a long time. It took about 4 years. And to this day, she still cannot walk into a building that has concrete blocks in it and not have a PTSD episode. She's still working on it. Okay, so as you can see, I have the glasses on the top of my head. And Becky wrote, I'm teaching my kids that sharing their issues helps others. Yes, I read, I'm teaching my kids that sharing their tissues helps others. Maybe I should take my glasses back down? Or have more coffee. In my life, it's been a lot of tissues for the last week. I've had man flu, child flu, kid sick, whatever. So anyway, by being able to give them a label, by being able to get them tested, by understanding where they're coming from, what they're seeing, what they're hearing, like I have auditory processing disorder. Obviously, I have audio or visual processing disorder if I'm seeing tissues instead of issues. But understanding where they're coming from is so important. And letting go of your own fears and your own comparisons is really key to all of this. I got to be honest, I go back and forth. I mean, there are times that I have fears. We have PTSD caused by the school. Oh my God, who doesn't? Okay, raise your hand if you have PTSD caused by school. Hello? Raise your hand if you have PTSD caused by bullies in school. If I put down my phone, can I raise 2 hands? I'm raising 5 fingers on this hand. Okay, going to change 5 fingers on this hand. Yeah, okay. So, for those of us who do not have PTSD caused from school or from bullies, I want to know what life you lived because I want to come hang with you. Like, totally want to do that. Because my hope with Sarah is she's not going to have all that, but she's going to have her own trauma because that's part of growing up, okay? But it's going to belong to her, not to me. Elizabeth keeps texting me. Okay. God help children. God help them. So basically, the whole point, because as I said, we've gotten off and I've wandered all over today, is basically listen to your child, partner with your child. If they are having trouble reading and writing, get them tested. There's a reason why. Maybe their vision is fine. You can take them to the eye doctor, right? And take them to the optometrist. And they'll say, oh, they can see just fine, or they need glasses for nearsighted or farsighted. But an ophthalmologist, say that 10 times fast, a behavioral ophthalmologist is going to be able to actually see if there is a disconnect between their eye and their brain. An optometrist cannot. An optometrist only tests for the health of the eye and nearsighted and farsightedness. So if your child's still having issues, find a behavioral ophthalmologist. And then you should be able to go a little bit further. If they are having issues and they need to be tested for learning disabilities, please do that. This has been the best coffee date. I totally need this day. Awesome, Allison. Hey, see, I have coffee in my travel cup here. And it's cold. It wasn't cold. It was meant. I do this every morning. Usually I do it at 9 o'clock. Today, because Sarah's up there getting tested, I had to do it a little bit later because I had to get here. But PM me and let me know if you want to see if we can get the girls together. I think now Sarah's on here and she has a daughter named Una. And Una's awesome. I love Una. She's like this awesome, holistic, vegan, creative girl who I think just is the bomb. And it's kind of sad because Sarah's afraid to become better friends because she's afraid she's going to get hurt. And so I'm gently trying to say, I don't think Una's like that, honey. I think it would be a good match for you. But again, I have to step out. It's not my thing. So, I have no idea what time it is. Can someone give me a time check? Because my phone is in my hand, and I'm on live, and I can't see my clock. Except I keep seeing Elizabeth. She's so cute. All right. Oh, see? That's how Sarah is. We so have to get Peyton and her together. We should have, 10, 12. Holy crap, I've talked a while. And those of you that know me in person should know that's really not a big deal. I'm pretty much a talker. Yeah, like I said, 2 mouths, half an ear. I'm working on that. But when you do live, you have to have, 2 mouths and half an ear. That's how that works. But in person, you have to have 2 ears and 1 mouth. All right, so before I go, is there anything, let's do an Ask Me Anything. Ask Mary anything. And go for it. Because we've been all over the place today. We've talked about vision. We've talked about abusive ex-husbands. We've talked about Jacksonville. We've talked about Mayport, that awesome seafood restaurant that looks like it's held up with nothing but plywood. Let's see. What else have we talked about? We've talked about testing. We've talked about school. We've talked about bullies. Well, you guys are quiet. Okay, God. So we have 10, 23, 24, 25. What do you guys want to ask me this morning? I take my coffee with unsweetened cashew milk. Let's see, what else would you want to know? Sit in the mom car. That's what I'm doing. The mom mobile. Oh, you guys are so quiet. I can't believe I have illuminated you that much so you have absolutely no questions whatsoever. I cannot be that good. Because my head is not that big. I still wear kid-size hats. Okay. Because our daughter has anxiety, it can be a struggle sometimes. Oh, hell yeah. You know, we have found that taking zinc and a B-complex vitamin helps a lot with anxiety. My oldest is actually on medication for it. She's on Prozac for her anxiety. It's so bad. So is my dog. They share meds. But it's something that we know runs biologically in our family. Part of also this vision disorder, because Sarah has vision without fusion, and she has a collapsed field of vision. Part of that causes anxiety because they can't see what's coming at them properly, and so it's that fight or flight constantly. And that's one of the things that they don't really tell you about vision disorders, is that it causes severe anxiety. So if your child has a vision disorder, expect them to have high anxiety because they don't know whether they are, where they're going to be attacked because they can't see it coming. So, listening and working. Yes, me too. I'm listening and working too. You know, people tell me I should use these videos like to sell my coaching and to get people on board and to go about that way. But I feel that's really shitty. Like, I'm not doing this to take your money. I do this because I just want to share the information that I have. Now, if you want to give me your money and work with me, sure, that's great. But otherwise, no. You know, I post this on the Radical Unschooling group because Dana and I are friends, and I've assured her that I'm not going to sell anything. So I feel like that would be unethical to be like, now, if you want to work with me, my website is blah, 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 blah. I figure if you people like me enough, you're going to go find me anyway. Maybe that's bad marketing, but I'm going to be authentic to who I am. So, any recommendations about where to find zinc and vitamin B dosages? Yes. Hey, Christina. So for zinc, you want to keep it under 15 milligrams and for no more than 3 weeks. And vitamin B, it's just a regular vitamin B complex vitamin. It's no big deal. And this comes actually directly from our fundamental doctor. But you have to be careful with zinc because it can build up in the organs. So you can only do 3 weeks on, 6 weeks off. Okay? And my daughter, my oldest one, did it she thought it was total bullshit. She's like, okay, I'll just do this to make mom happy, right? I don't know why kids do that, but kind of nice sometimes. And she said within 24 hours, she felt completely better. Like her anxiety had gone whoosh. And she was doing so much better. So make sure you don't go too far with it because you don't want to build up in their organs. Kids are a little different. Okay, I've heard and read about CBD oil helping with anxiety in children, plus it helps with Asperger's. Yes. You also want to watch your CBD oil. You want to make sure that it's pure, that it's clean. You're welcome. And my kids like the mint flavored one, but we only use it in an as-needed basis. Do not do it on a regular basis. There's also something called kratom, which tastes like crap. It tastes like mud. But if their anxiety is really high, you can put it in a capsule. Because it does taste like mud and sludge, and it's gross. But you have to be careful because it's an opiate derivative. So what brand do I use? You know, I don't have it on me. I can PM you later and let you know. I can actually take some pictures and post it in the comments when I get home. I personally have found CBD was okay. It didn't do much for me. Yeah, kratom made me nauseous. But some people love it. So go figure. I've smoked pot once in my life. I don't know. I did it at 44. I thought it'd be fun. It was clean. I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. Everybody's talked about it. I'm going to do it, right? Made me vomit and get dizzy. So it didn't work for me. So there you go. It smelled like skunk. It was gross. Don't know why why? Does anybody want to spend their money on that? I have no idea. Anyway, so there are some things that you can do naturally. You can also remove processed sugar, dairy, and gluten from their diets. I know this scares the crap out of people. We actually live that way. We have to because we have allergies. But all three of those are massive inflammatories for your body. And they will cause any kind of anxiety, swelling in the brain, anything like that to go off the handle. Like if Sarah and Elizabeth eat any kind of cane sugar, processed sugar, literally panic attacks. Like full-blown panic attacks. Me? I just become your biggest worst nightmare from high school. You could like sick me on the IRS. It would be great. Peyton is celiac and allergy, so we've had to remove everything too. I love her. Holy crap. We are a completely gluten-free home. Allison, we need to come hang out, like totally, all the time. I actually have another website called Autoimmune Food, because we do all gluten-free, dairy-free, and processed sugar-free. And I've written cookbooks. I actually go all around the country talking about how to live gluten-free. And so I have 2 best-selling books. Sit here, toot Mary's horn. So one is about homeschooling a child with anxiety and depression that became a bestseller on Amazon within 12 hours, called From Stressed to Best, which is awesome. And then I have another one that's not on Amazon. You can only find it on my website. And this one I'm going to plug because it has nothing to do with unschooling. Is called Have Your Cake and Eat It Too. And it's actually the science behind gluten-free baking. And I worked with the textbook from Johnson & Wales, one of their top professors and one of the top chefs in the country. And I converted everything that was in that textbook that could be converted to gluten-free. So there are things that can't, like croissants and lacquered doughs and stuff like that. But then I go around the country talking about how to do that. Did you know that? You're talking to a best-selling author. Woo, 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 woo. That's me. Yeah, it's not paying the bills yet, but sounds fabulous. And a keynote speaker. I sound so impressive. But it's just me. So, anyway, I rock. Woo. Yeah, now let's put that in my bank account, okay? So if anyone would like to donate, like that $1 million, that'd be fabulous. I'd love that. Anyway, or leave it to me in their will. You know, that sort of thing. Anyway, I should probably go up and check on Sarah and see how she's doing. What should we talk about tomorrow morning? Let's think. How about the effects of socialization in an institutionalized environment? Well, that sounds so very professional, doesn't it? Perhaps we should call it something like school. It's not all it's cracked up to be. It'll fuck you up. I don't know. I'll have to find a really good title for it, like how to fuck up your kids, send them to school for socialization. I don't know. Yeah, you like that one? Yes. So tomorrow, let's tune in. 9 o'clock, my regular time. And you guys know what's great about this is it forces me to shower like every day. Maybe not shave, but I do shower every day because sure as shit, you're not going to see me unshowered. And I actually put like mascara on. So let's talk about socialization tomorrow. Let's talk about it from a homeschooling point of view and from a public school point of view. And let's really be honest about what it did and what it does and how it works and why it does and doesn't work. What do you think? That sound good? Awesomeness. All right, I'm going to go check on Sarah, see how she's doing, and we're going to go from there. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Now, here's the plug. You ready for this? If you want to, you can go to the YouTube channel, which is Inside Parenting. I don't know the numbers behind it. It's not like an official channel yet. So if you want to get all your friends to go and click on it, I think I have to have something like 100 likes or something like that to give it a real name so you can type it in there. So pass it around. What I'm doing is I'm doing everything live because I really suck at editing. And I'm doing it on Facebook because, again, I really suck at editing and it scares the shit out of me, so I don't do it. And then I'm uploading them to Facebook. Or you can go to my website, which is maryherrington.com, and it's herring like the fish. So it's MaryHerrington. Until then, I'm going to see you tomorrow as we talk about the bullshit of socialization. Till then, have a great one. Bye-bye.